Hello and welcome. In this video I will explain the exercise Replace loops using recursion from freeCodecamp. Recursion is the concept that a function can be expressed in terms of itself. To help understand this, start by thinking about the following task. Multiply the first n elements of an array to create the product of those elements. Using a for loop, you could do this. We can see the function multiply with two parameters are n and a for loop. However, notice that these two expressions are almost the same. That means you can rewrite multiply in terms of itself and never need to use a loop. In the second version of multiply, the loop has been replaced by recursion. The function calls itself. Next, I will explain why these two expressions are almost the same. We can see the code of the two versions of multiply. On the left, the loop, on the right, the recursive one. How similar or different are the two versions? The loop version uses an accumulator. The recursive one uses a stack. In general, an accumulator is a variable in which intermediate results are stored. A stack is a data structure in which the last element that was added to the stack is the first element that is removed from the stack. This difference is important because the stack is invisible. In the loop, we can see the accumulator, in this case, the variable product, but in the recursive version, we can only see the return keyword. This is confusing and the source of many problems. In the loop version, the variable I is used as index. In the recursive one, the parameter n is used as index. In the loop version, the parameter n is used in the loop condition. In the recursive one, the parameter n is used in the base case. In the recursive code, the stack is invisible. The parameter n is used as an index in the base case and in the recursive call. Now we can try to solve the exercise. Write a recursive function that returns the sum of the first n elements of an array R. The solution is the second version of the function multiply with some modifications. We can test our solution. We run the test and we pass the challenge. How we can go from multiply to sum? We need to change the function name, the identity element, and the operator. We need to change the function name from multiply to sum. We need to change the identity element from the identity element for multiplication 1 to the identity element for addition 0. We need to change the operator from the multiplication operator to the addition operator. Here we can see all the modifications. We can use Python Tutor to see a step-by-step execution of our code. When our recursive case is executed for the first time, we can see that n is equal to 3. But because we are using n minus 1, our index is 2. And we are accessing this element of our array. The next time our recursive case is executed, we can see that n is equal to 2. Why? Because we are using n minus 1 on the recursive function call. N is 2, but our index is 1. Because we are using n minus 1 as index. And we are accessing this element of our array. The next time our recursive case is executed, we can see that n is equal to 1. Why? Because we are using n minus 1 on the recursive function call. N is 1, our index is 0, because we are using n minus 1 as index, and we are accessing our element, we are accessing this element of our array. Now our base case is executed. Why? Because we are using n minus 1 on the recursive function call. The base case returns the identity element for addition, the number 0. A number plus 0 is equal to the same number. Here we can see the stack. In this case, 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. And we get our result, 6. Using Python Tutor, we can see the stack and something that is important to remember. When we are using a stack, the last element to go in is the first to go out. In this case, 0, from our base case. In the next step, we can see that our function is returning 1, because 0 plus 1 is 1. In the next step, we can see that our function is returning 3, because 1 plus 2 is 3. In the next step, we can see that our function is returning 6, because 3 plus 3 is 6. And this is how you can replace loops with recursion.